Hi guys, it's Seán here, introducing a very special episode of our Kate Bush fan podcast. This one involving Darrell's trip to a place called Orgonon to see Peter Reich, the man who wrote A Book of Dreams, the inspiration behind Kate's Cloudbusting. So he got to travel all the way up to Maine in the USA to see where Wilhelm Reich established his laboratory, and which is now the Wilhelm Reich Museum. He got to see Peter Reich showing him all around mementos, photographs, yes, even cloudbusters up there in a beautiful part of the northeast of America.
And it's all about his view of his father, but through the eyes of a child.
They discussed all things orgone energy. They got to see some of the equipment and the original orgone accumulators that Reich would have used. Amongst other things, they have very carefully preserved Wilhelm Reich's legacy, all of the equipment, all of the things that he would have used when he was working back in the 40s and 50s.
He saw his father as this incredibly magical figure. One of the things that features in the book is how he used to go with his father cloudbusting.
And Darrell got to see this beautiful tract of land, which was of course recreated to memorable effect in Kate's 1985 video for Cloudbusting, which of course starred Donald Sutherland as Wilhelm Reich and Kate herself playing a version of Peter Reich as a young boy.
And the book is just extraordinary. It's so sad, but it's also got this beautiful kind of happy innocence.
Darrell was accompanied by David Silver, who maintains the Wilhelm Reich Museum.
Most things in this building are preserved, from the 1950s. It was a cloudbuster was brought in for display.
Where, among other things, he saw one of the cloudbusters there in the museum building itself. And several times in my chat with Darrell about his visit, we talk about how Peter Reich as a child was, as well as being devoted to his father and experiencing firsthand a cloudbuster in action, he was very much obsessed with cowboys. And we talk about Kate's Baskerville edition unboxing video, where she depicted Peter as a young boy, played by actor Gus Turner, talking about how he should have been wearing a Stetson in the video. And of course, in the museum itself, a Stetson is produced. Kate went to a lot of trouble to recreate Reich's laboratory and working situation back in 1985, and for the Baskerville edition unboxing video, she consulted with Peter to get some of the details exactly right. When you visit the museum today, you will see his books, a signed photograph from Sigmund Freud on the wall, as well as Reich's own paintings and art materials still present. One of the most poignant moments of the podcast is when Darrell recounts David Silver reading out sections from A Book of Dreams to Peter Reich. A visibly moved Peter listens to that sequence from the book, which is depicted in some ways in Kate's video, of the men from the government, the men arriving in their big black car. They would have been agents from the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration. And at the time in the book, they were coming to tell Wilhelm Reich that he had to cease his operations and destroy his equipment, and that's partly shown in the video as well. A very poignant memory for a young Peter who absolutely adored his father and felt that in some way that he had somehow failed to warn him in time of the approaching men in their big black car. So a very, very moving moment there. Amazingly, he also mentioned that he used to hide under the kitchen sink and draw little scribbles under there, and they found them for the first time in decades. And Darrell got some imagery of those drawings and things that a young Peter Reich would have written as a young boy in one of his favourite hiding places. And towards the end of the visit, Darrell got to see an actual cloudbuster beside the tomb of Wilhelm Reich, and got a few tips on how to use it, how to manipulate the various wheels and things like that. And he was saying that the plan is for the museum to eventually have a Cloudbuster garden to gather up all existing Cloudbusters and have them put in there around the actual tomb. The machine that was used, obviously, in the 1985 video by Kate was an exaggerated version of the real Cloudbusters, and it looked incredible on film, up there on location in Dragon Hill in Oxfordshire. And Darrell was, of course, giddy and looked extremely youthful as he got to use a Cloudbuster. Fantastic. So, all throughout our podcast episode, you will hear a lot from Peter Reich. And here you see Peter actually signing Darrell's copy of his Cloudbusting 7-inch single before he departed. So, a lovely keepsake there. So delighted that Darrell is sharing this trip with us, and I think you're going to really enjoy this real living link with the inspiration behind the wonderful Cloudbusting. So please give it a listen. You will find the podcast episode on capebushnews.com and anywhere else that you happen to listen to podcasts. So we hope you enjoy it.